All right, thanks for joining me today. I'm Patrick Finn with Sonoma Landworks, and today we have to do a little leach field diagnostic work. We are at a property where I installed a new leach field, 3 new leach lines, 30 feet long a piece, 60 inches deep roughly, in 2016. The tank was existing. We connected to that, ran out, put in some distribution boxes, and I think we went out this way with the new leach lines. Property owner got a hold of me recently, about 2 days ago, and told me that they were having some backup issues with the tank. It started before winter, so I don't think it's a high groundwater issue. I think it's probably likely some roots. So we're gonna start digging from roughly where the outlet of the tank is here and find our first distribution box and take a look inside. Let's get started. So a couple days, I came out here, looked at this, marked the ground for underground service alert, so we were clear to dig today. In that time period, the pumper was out here, and he put on these risers. That's why you see the fresh dirt out here. So I'm just digging right up next to the outlet side riser. And what I want to do now is just hop in here because I'm just about down to depth. These risers are about 30 inches tall or so, maybe a little less. So this pipe, the outlet pipe, should be down about probably a little over 3 feet. So we're getting close to that. I don't really want to hit the pipe or break it. I'm gonna hop down in here and dig around and see if I can find that pipe. So here's the riser, the new riser that the pumper installed. And here is the 4-inch ABS pipe. So you can see I stopped digging right above this pipe. And we're heading this direction. So what I'm gonna do now is change directions with the excavator. And I'm just gonna start digging this way. And I'm gonna take this trench down, but not so deep, hopefully where I can avoid hitting the D-box lid itself. So let's see what we find. guys updated. All I'm doing is digging along, making sure when I'm digging with the excavator that I'm staying, let's say 8 or 10 inches higher than the pipe. Because if I run into a D-box, the top of that D-box is going to be quite a bit higher than the pipe. And I don't really want to break the D-box and get into that kind of a repair. So super sandy soil, I'm starting to hit more roots. The ABS pipe looks good, it has good fall, just visually. But somewhere in there is our D-box, I think. We're getting close. It's got to be somewhere here. So, almost there. You know, with the soil being this sandy, it would be really useful to use my probe, my GoPro, but I'm using it to hold you guys up so you have a view. Plus, I don't mind shoveling a little bit. But you can oftentimes just take that probe and follow the pipe, and you'll hear a tap, tap, tap when you hit that D-box lid. It's gonna be obviously a flat concrete surface. But like I said, I don't mind digging a little bit, so we should find it right in here somewhere. One of the things I like about following the pipe is I can see if there's a bend, and if I find a coupling or a bend, I can see if there's a lot of roots in that area. That would tell me that maybe that fitting failed or wasn't glued properly. I'm starting to see some more roots right here in this area. So to me, that's kind of telling me that either I'm close to a tree, which I am getting a little closer, or there's roots there because they're thirsty and they've been going after something. So it's funny how much you can forget in 8 years. I'm pretty sure I was the one out here doing this with my guys, but I'm still chasing this pipe. I honestly don't know where the D-box is. Maybe I turned and went into a couple D-boxes and went out with leach lines in both directions. I don't know. All right, keep digging. All right, guys, digging still, but I just thought I'd point out real quick, you know, see the girth on that root chunk right there? 8 years. 8 years since I was last trenching right through here, right? Doesn't take very long for roots to get going. In fact, I think the average that I'm finding most of the time on jobs like this, where we have redwood trees and really powerful roots nearby, it's about 7 to 10 years when we get the calls that they're having problems with their leach line or leach pit. So just a heads up to everyone out there, keep that in mind when you're building your system. You know, either remove the trees or try to have those leach lines further away from the trees. All right, guys, so I saw the magic happen. You're wondering, what is the magic? As I was scooping right here, if you notice, I was going real slow, right? And my teeth were right here. I saw this square patch of dirt start sliding. I bet you there's a D-box lid right there. Let's dig and find out. Let's find out. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put you over here. I'll get you pointing down. Hopefully you can see that. Oh, maybe it was just this root. Oh, maybe that's what it was. I'm getting hopeful. Wishful thinking, perhaps. All right, let's just see if the pipe's down here. Yeah, there's the pipe. There's the pipe. Big roots. What the heck is going on? You know what's funny is I have a locator in my truck, but to crawl down in those tall risers and get that locator out the outlet pipe is not something I want to do right now. Plus, this gives me an opportunity, like I said, to see if I can find a joint that has a lot of root debris around it. So we're locating and checking as we go. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to keep digging. Keep digging. Oh, wait a second. That sounds like a D-box. Yeah, I think we found it. That's why I love this job so much. It's fun to do this, you know? Getting paid for it too. But have to make a living for my family, so I can't just do it for free. So that looks like a D-box right there. I think I'll probably maybe take a little bit more of this dirt back and away, and then uncover that with a shovel. Open it up and we'll see what we find. By the way, today, guys, I'm listening to, in case you're wondering, I've had this question before. What are you listening to? I'm listening to Alice in Chains, Metallica. Sometimes I listen to Hank, George Jones. Sometimes I listen to classical music. Every kind of music I love, really. Not too much I don't like. Anyways, here's our deal. There's a number of roots around this box. But what I'm trying to do right now is just get the dirt down below the top of the box, below the bottom of the lid, so when I pull it up, dirt and stuff's not falling in there. All right, let's not waste any more time. Let's see what we got. Let's get you a better look when I open it. Well, that lid's kind of really stuck on there. It's weird. Usually the lid comes right up. Not sure what happened here. Gonna have to pry on it. Whoa, there we go. You know what? Well, not what I expected to find. This lid was really kind of sealed down on there, but not mortared. You don't want to mortar your D-box lids, by the way. Maybe a gasket, maybe a little bit of silicone if you wanted to, but what I'm looking at is a pretty mucky box, to be honest with you. So I'm not sure what we got here. I'm gonna have to kind of clean these pipes off a little bit, and perhaps the material type of pipe will tell me what's what, you know, where the next D-box would be. So let's clean that off. Okay. Oh. Okay. Oh man. It's very sludgy. Very sludgy feeling stuff here. All right, so out here in our neck of the woods, I know D-boxes vary from place to place. I see a lot of guys out east using these bigger boxes where they run a line from the tank to one distribution box, and it has maybe 5 or more outlets on it. And where we're at, this is what we use. It's just a 4-hole box. And so what I scraped a little gunk off the top of this end pipe, and it's a triple wall poly pipe, which is the pipe that we use typically from the D-box about 4 feet out, and then we transition to triple wall perf pipe, and the gravel trench begins from there. The pipe going this way is ABS, and the pipe going back underneath us out towards the front of the property is ABS as well. So I know on the plans we had 3 new leach lines out here. What I'm gonna do is dig this way, uncover this other distribution box. I think there's gonna be a distribution box about 8 feet away. That's the separation that we use here in Sonoma County. And then I'm gonna dig over here and find this other box that should be 8 feet this way, somewhere in here, and open those up. What I can see right away is that this box has been completely full of sewage. It's on the top of the lid. You can just tell that water level's been up high in this box. There's water in the box. So for me, yeah, I did check the pipe as I trenched out this way. Could there still be a root in the line? Maybe, but likely not. I'm going to assume, based on the water that I see in the box, that the water is making it out to this box, but we can check that later. But right away, what I would say is these lines need to be jetted. So to jet your lines, to clean gunk and silt or whatever else might be in your lines, typically there's a pumper. The pumper would drop his hose in the box, and they would run a jetting line out the leach line and draw the sludge back into the box, and that's where the pumper's pumping that material out and into his truck. So let's get these other boxes exposed for the pumper and jetter. Could there still be roots in the leach line? Absolutely. It's just they're not in this box. They could be in the gravel bed here. They could be in the gravel bed over there. I'm a little surprised I don't see any roots in the box itself, but I guess that's a good thing. Let's get these other boxes exposed, and I'll turn you back on when I get those guys exposed. All right, guys, so I'm going to tell you what I found here just in a second, a little tip for you guys, but first let me show you. Found the other D-box here. It's been full all the way to the top. It's got black gooey bits on the bottom of the lid, pretty gunky on the inside. Some more root matter in this box here, and I started digging over here because I have an ABS line going this way, And I know that typically we're about 8 feet over to where the next box and line should be. And my tip for you guys really quick is if you're digging to locate a leach line or septic tank or anything like that where there's wastewater soaking into the soil, you're going to notice a coloration change. Let's just say your dirt in your area is brown like this. If you start to see gray or black as you're scratching along, you're getting very, very close to soil that's been saturated with effluent. And so I just started to notice that here a little bit. I knew that I had to dig down roughly 30 inches or so, but right here should be a box, and that is going to require some shovel work. I don't want to damage the box, so let me grab a shovel and we'll get this guy uncovered. Okay, there it is. That flat concrete surface that you might run into, undeniably almost going to be your D-box. So my measurement told me to dig somewhere in here, but I'm gonna have to move over, dig a little bit more out right here so I don't have a ton of hand digging. So let me do that. All right, I'm gonna use the shovel for this one. Okay. So in here, things to notice. We have one pipe coming in, and as far as I can see, we just have one pipe going out. All right, so now that we got the last box exposed, what I'd like to do is spend a minute and run my locator down at least one or all of the lines, and that's gonna give me a little bit more information. Obviously, number one, with that locator, I'll be able to paint dashes on top of the ground and roughly identify the alignment and direction of those lines. But also, as I'm running that locator down, it'll tell me how far the leach line goes, or if I don't get the locator down the line very far, we're hitting roots. So that's going to give me good information that will be useful later on. And so let me get that locator out, and we'll start with this line right here. Gonna use some gloves. This stuff's pretty goopy right here. So this is a transmitter that I just taped onto the end of like an electrical fish tape, and it's sending out a signal, 512 hertz, and my receiver is going to let me know where this is at underground. Very handy tool. Oh. So before I get going too far, I'm going to go ahead and turn on my receiver and make a mark where it's at, maybe 4 or 5 feet out. So what will happen here is the arrow will go away and we'll see that little icon, and that tells me I'm getting right over the top of it. So I go down, it does give me my depth, 3 foot 9 inches. So I'll be able to make a mark there. I'll just repeat this process few more times and go out as far as I can with it. All right, did the location work that I could. This line's traveling at a little bit of an angle here. It's roughly parallel to the other line here. This is as far as I made it here. Just with the strength of the push rod on my locator, I couldn't really get it much further. There's quite a bit of sludge in the pipe. So this was the end of the middle line. And on this line, I couldn't really make it down the pipe at all. I think there's just enough root debris at the beginning of the pipe that I'm not making it down there. So unfortunately, it is not the result I was hoping to provide for the property owner. I was really hoping, or I was telling her that hopefully we just find some root blockage in a D-box or two and we're able to remove that and get her up and running. But unfortunately, what I'm seeing is not the best case scenario. So we're gonna have to get a jetter out here, or the owner's gonna have to hire somebody to do the pumping and jetting. And that's one step. I don't see that works that long and that great for folks typically that have leach lines that are impacted with sludge or other. They'll probably need a roto-rooter as well to get at least that one line rooted out. I will say this though, that these lines are pretty deep, and if this was my property, what I would do, because the house is elevated over there, the tank is really deeper than it needs to be. So if I were to do a repair in this scenario and we had to put in new leach lines, I would really push and try to suggest to the owner to remove that tank, put in a new tank at a higher elevation, retrench the pipeline back to the house, and get everything elevated so that the system is not as deep as it is. We are in a floodplain here. That is why the house is elevated. And so in the wintertime, there is perched water that sits in this area. Just know that from experience. And even though the soil itself is really sandy, if you have ground that's already saturated with groundwater or other, then it's not going to drain very well and not going to work very well in the dead of winter. But like I said, she was having issues before winter started, so I think the jetter's going to have to do his magic here and hopefully get this system up and working for a while longer. Not sure how long it will work for her. Unfortunately, I think that ultimately an elevated system would be a lot better at this site, if not a raised bed or you know, a sand filter, something like that. All right, well guys, not the best of news here for the owner. They're gonna have to jet out these lines, and they're gonna have to probably get a roto-rooter out here to at least get the far line rooted out. And anyways, hope I was able to share a few tips with you guys. Hopefully you picked up on some information, and really appreciate you guys watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And I do a lot of septic work, and if that's something you're getting into, I think you'll find some useful information here at this site. So anyways, appreciate it guys. We're gonna get back out here and backfill this after the jetter and the roto-rooter folks come out here, but I might just end this video here, and we'll catch you next time. Over now. Thanks.